thank you so much for coming. And Kolale, thank you so much for being so kind. I'm very, very grateful. And for Esther Dyson for flying in, and for a lot of people who came far and away, and all of your fantastic participation and speakers. So you're going to be imparting some incredible wisdom today. So I'm very grateful for that, about how to move more women and minorities into the STEAM area. And there's been a significant decrease in women. So the majority of what happened during the COVID situation was that the girls were not progressed into sports, and there's a high correlation between being in sports, even though I was a terrible sportsman. I fouled out every time. They made me the captain of the basketball team, and that was probably a big mistake for them. But the thing is that there is still a correlation, even if you do foul out all the time, between being in sports and progressing into leadership. So the idea about today is to identify how do we progress more women and minorities into the STEAM field. And I feel very passionate about that, because that's the way we can create more leadership. And the thing is, right now, if you forecast going forward, obviously forecasting is going forward, but if you forecast, we're going to have about 50 to 75% fewer women and minorities into the leadership roles in the next 5 years, if you look at the statistics. So because of the situation during the COVID. Esther, I see you thinking. What do you want to say?
What?
No, you're thinking. I always like it when you think.
Oh, I was actually thinking about what I'm going to say later.
Oh, okay, all right, very good. So anyway, again, I'm very, very grateful for all of you being here and sharing your wisdom and sharing your thoughts on barriers, solutions, and roadmaps going forward. Greg.
Bring my own microphone everywhere I go. I am Greg Charlop. I, again, appreciate you all being out here. And I want to start by apologizing, because I know we don't have coffee, which I almost went in a crisis mode when I saw that. So I apologize in advance for all you coffee drinkers here. But we give up water. It's like a pail.
I fed him coffee in the morning.
She did. I'm on my third. You can probably tell already. So I want to thank you for being here, and this is an important topic, obviously, but one of the things I want to say is, I think we all recognize there's a problem. We recognize that girls are having a hard time. We recognize that things maybe in many ways are looking worse rather than better. But I want to impart the message on all of you that we are not powerless in this situation. There are things that we can do to make the situation better. I was talking to my neighbor the other day. She's an accountant, and in addition to a regular job, she helps lead this volunteer group. I'm from Atlanta. She helps lead this volunteer group, and what they do is they bring books to kids. And she told me this stat that I couldn't believe. How many books do you think the average child owns? Anyone want to guess? You're on the spot here. Anyone? Come on. 2. Pretty darn close. So 3 is, well, I don't know how they got the number, but 3 is supposedly the number. The average child owns 3 books. Now, I'm going to guess that your kids probably have like 200 books. The average child owns 3. So that means a lot of kids have 0 books, 1 book. I've heard stories. She was telling me there were kids, they have silent reading during school, and they had to bring in something to read. They didn't have a book to read. So they were bringing in the phone book, or magazine circulars, or supermarket advertisements to have something to read in class. So you could only game out how things are going to go for these kids if that remains as is. But there are groups like hers that bring books to these children. So it's a problem, and it's a terrible problem, but it's something that can be solved if people take the initiative. And so that's what this is all about. So thank you all for being here, and we're thrilled that you're here. One housekeeping note, I know we're arranged this way, the webcam's better here. So I don't know. I guess you can decide if you want to talk to people or talk to the computer, but the recording is over there. But thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we're going to start with, and Nick D'Onofrio is going to be coming in first. Nick is, I've known him for, I don't know if this is on or not, but Nick I've known for, thank you. 29 years. I did the first transformation for IBM with Nick D'Onofrio. He was the number 2 at IBM for 45 years. He was, I sat right next to him and said, well, here's the truth and here's what the management has told you, like line by line by line. So we also carried papers. So you're gonna have a great. He's gonna come in via Zoom. He had some troubles traveling, so he's gonna be coming in first. And I guarantee you we have a great lineup for today. So I'm very excited about everyone who's gonna contribute greatly. So with that, I think we should let Nick come in, and we'll be off to the races here.